energy flows like a queen on her throne. I already know I'm the spark, the flame, the fire in their eyes. They reach, they crave, but I am the prize. Intelligent, sharp like the edge of a blade. Every move I make is a power play. Grace in my stride, wisdom in my mind. I've built the kind of life I dreamed I'd find. I've become a woman I'd look up to, strong and untouchable. It's what I do, radiating power, confidence so high. I'm not just living, I'm learning to fly. Men may desire, but I define me. Unstoppable force, wild and free. I've become the woman I look up to, and I'm loving every shade of truth. Every scar, every tear, carve me into gold. Turn my fears into stories untold. I exude power like the stars at night, a beacon of strength and unstoppable light. I don't bend for love, I stand tall in my glow. The respect I demand is the respect they show. I've risen above what I once left behind, becoming the hero I hoped I'd find. I've become the woman I'd look up to, strong and untouchable. It's what I do, radiating power, confidence so high. I'm not just living, I'm learning to fly. Men may desire, but I define me. Unstoppable force, wild and free. I've become the woman I'd look up to, and I'm loving every shade of truth. Every step I take, it's on my own terms. A fire inside me that forever burns. I'm the muse, the legend, the one they admire, but my biggest fan is the woman in the mirror. I've become the woman I look up to, strong and untouchable. It's what I do, radiating power, confidence so high. I'm not just living, I'm learning to fly. Men may desire, but I define me. Unstoppable force, wild and free. I've become the woman I'd look up to, and I'm loving every shade of truth. I don't chase, I attract, I hold my own. A masterpiece crafted, fully grown.
Greetings, peace, everyone. Islam, peace and love, hotep, and namaste. This is your girl, Jennifer Lynn Still Ill, and I am the CEO and founder of Mayat Ministry and Podcast. Tonight we have a couple matriarchs here tonight. Tonight we are bringing Wombman Is Wisdom. And we have a beautiful, beautiful sister here with us tonight. Empress Wisdom Shield Ill. Peace and love.
Peace and love, peace and love. Islam. Islam.
Islam. I'm going to add one more. Hold on, I'm waiting for one more sister to come in. We can just go ahead. First, thank you. I want to give you your flowers. I appreciate you coming on to my podcast tonight. You are a woman with so much wisdom. And when you get to talking, those vibrations get to going. So I was so thankful for you coming on and being a guest tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Oh, much gratitude to you as well, sister. You and the sister, Mia Moore. I'm waiting for her to come on. It's just so
wonderful. No, she's on. She's just trying to fix her. She's backstage trying to fix her camera together. So once she gets us together, I'm gonna pop her in with us.
Okay, Islam.
Yes. But further ado, with us coming with Wombman Is Wisdom, tell us about you. Tell us how you even got into the walk of where you are today and the wonderful things that you're doing. Oh my God, you got so much background. Just tell us everything.
Well, it has not always been a good time. It has not been easy. The road has not been easy. But when you look back on those things and you see that those difficult times made you stronger, made you wiser, let you look back and see how Allah has kept us. You just give more and more gratitude. You just get up giving gratitude. You just dance around and say, them devils thought they got me, but they are wrong. They messed up when they touched the anointed. Who are you? Who do you think you are? You touched the anointed. Now they getting their asses kicked. Now the thing is, what I went through in my life, I was a bail bondsman for like 27 years, and I had a tax office next to that. And in my inner self started to birth some things that I didn't even think that I would have known back then. But it's the heart, it's the love that all of us already have, that Allah love, that love that we carry deep within us, like our ancestors, that we genuinely care about our people and other people as well. But when I was in my office, I noticed so many people, so many Islam can't hear you, but I didn't want to start without you about seeing your beautiful face and entering into this beautiful meeting with you, letting you know that it's three of us, and the three of us is the triune of Allah: wisdom, will, and love.
Yes,
We are the
wow.
triune of Allah. It's three of us. So with that said, I'll continue. And the thing that I noticed in my office and in my business was that I was being a traitor, being a bail bondsman, being a traitor by saying and contracting with those devils to bring people back to a jurisdiction that they don't even have if they fail to appear in court. And the more I was coming into that knowledge and that gnosis, the universe, Allah was sending other Moors in to teach me and tell me things. And it was kind of difficult because I was in those churches too, food and reprogrammed to think and look outside myself for the savior and the help other than myself. So they was telling me some things, and the more I would leave them and go home and sleep, I would dream, I would see things, and it started all coming together. And the more I would see things, the less I had any interest in being a bail bondsman. And in the tax office that I had, I was learning that only the employees of the government have to pay taxes, not the private people. And that Internal Revenue Service has a treaty department, and we are treaty beneficiaries. So therefore, I was able to do some documents and get all of my customers out of that so-called debt that the IRS called themselves giving them. And I was helping them out and helping them to keep their records. And I would go with them whenever they got audited, because we don't work for the de facto government. We're not agents of the government, and only the Secretary of the Treasury with his or her wet ink signature can send us a bill, and that never happens. So they got upset. They sent some agents into my office to try to buy me out, try to buy my clients and everything. And when I told them no, because they was treating all of our people wrong, telling them lies, have everybody so distracted, have everybody so bound down with that job that they're on, have everybody just tired and just draining them until they don't have time enough to read. So I was reading for them. I said, I read for you, I read for you, and I read for you. Look at this.
Wow.
And so when they had the truth right on the Internal Revenue site, and then when I found out the truth, they took it off. The same way that GMEI utility that's selling all of our trusts and all of our securities all over the world, when we started downloading that information and putting our information in and putting it on the record, they took that down as well. Those demons get caught, they start running. Mm-hmm. But anyway, when they found out that I know that there have been no judges in America since 1789, that they're de facto, the only judges there are is us. We are the judges. We are the law. We are the law walking on this land. They're not. They're bankers. They make $700,000 to $800,000 a year on everybody's case. They're only bankers. Those statutes, codes, and ordinances ex post facto laws. They are not the original laws. They're ex post facto laws. They make them up as they go. So as a bondsman being their agent, and then as another agent being a tax preparer, they got mad and they made up false charges against me, and they came against me and took everything that I worked for. I had about $4.8 million set aside for my retirement. I made about $400,000 a year, put it aside, bought a lot of property, invested in a lot of real estate, a lot of land and everything, so that my children could have their own homes to just move into. Where those demons got so mad, they came after and they used the ex-husband and us matriarchs. Sometimes if we're unequally yoked and we marry these guys who don't know who they are, because the prophet Noble Drew Ali came to teach us to be ourselves. And if he know himself, he would have never done me the way he did me. He went with a Caucasian attorney, opened up the book, showed him everything, and they set him up, put him in jail, set me up, put me in jail, and they took everything. But right now, you and I do know that everything they took is coming back 100-fold. It's coming back to us in gold and silver, the only currency here today. Now, what the ex-husband didn't realize is that what goes around comes around with his little silly behind. He's been deported. He's over back in Jamaica where he was sent, and I could have saved him. I told him that this is not a United States. I said, this is America. This is Morocco. He said, don't. He was telling my daughter, don't listen to that foolishness. My baby was about 7 years old. She said, Mama, I know you're right, because that's why it says the United States of America. Of makes it a corporation. And I said, and it's a corporation under 28 USC 300215A. It's a business. They're pimping us. They're pimping us. So, with that said, that's the business that I was in. And I went through all of that turmoil, and those people had drugged me through their court systems and in their jails, 7 different jails. Now, y'all know what the number 7 is. 7 is the perpendicular upright man. 7 different jails, 18 months. That's 1 and 8. That's the day I was born, on the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's birthday, January the 8th. 1 and 8, 18 months, 7 different jails. Allah had to show me that once I came out of that Desma crypt, that pit, and came out. Stand on my feet squarely and learn even more to put them aside. Now, the inner power that I had to find out that all of us have, I had to find it out when, even after they released me, they was finding other reasons to come and arrest me for traffic tickets and driving with license suspended and all of that BS, just so that they could try to break down the matriarch. And they was doing that over and over again until I learned who I am. I took a shower one day and I sat on the side of the bed and I said, Allah, I'm so tired, because I had been in a lot of groups with Moors, some Moorish temples, and one in particular, I was with Walt Nell, the Grand Sheik Walt Nell in Chicago, Illinois, who really did me bad, and him and some other Moors for no apparent reason. Never hurt nobody, always helped them out. And that brother had a meeting one night after I had been in with the Adept Chamber for about a year or more, and he blocked me and another sister from being in the meeting that night, and had turned really dark against me for no reason. I'm a sister that he could call on and ask me to send him some money. I had no job at the time. I was getting donations. I'd send him half of my donations. I traveled to even see him, and I would give him some herbs because he had a sinus problem, and I helped him out and was giving him some good pointers to help him out. I would call to check on the brother to see how he was doing, and all of a sudden you turned dark against me. Allah, the great God of the universe, let me and that sister into that meeting that night that they blocked us, by way of another sister calling and saying, why y'all not in the meeting? Because we're always there. Why y'all not in the meeting tonight? And the other sister saying, we don't know. We've been trying to get the link. They won't send us the link. So I'm just sitting quiet, just listening to the still small voice, because it's something that Allah wants us to hear. So the sister, she connected us to the meeting. And on her computer, she she was on the in their meeting. She connected us on her phone. We heard it very clear. That grand she started calling Wisdom She'll L a dirty Moor. That's a dirty Moor. She giving all of my information to those friends groups and coming against Taj. I don't know what give these brothers the audacity to come against Taj, but what come out of their mouth is gonna come right back on them. I'm telling you, they don't know what they're saying and what they're doing. But he said I was giving his information to Taj, to all these friends groups, and I'm a nasty woman. She's a nasty woman. Then he started on the other sister, call her retarded, and she's crazy, talking about she was going to use the scimitar to cut people's heads off. No, the sister was using it as a metaphor, metaphorically speaking, and he knows that. But he was just talking real bad about me and the sister, and then at the end he said, Allah, kill them dead. Oh, I just backed up. I said, do he know who he's talking to? The other sister started crying and she was just hysterical. I said, sister, we ain't got nothing to worry about. The three of us, like the three of us right now, very powerful. We started returning that energy to sender. We all three of us, we return that energy to sender. We return that energy 1,000 times, 1,000 times, 1,000. Whatever he said and what he said is returned to him 10,000 times, 10,000 times. All three of us kept saying, return to sender, return to sender. Oh my God, that was like in the early part of November. By Thanksgiving morning, I was in my kitchen, bleaching it down, scrubbing it down, cleaning it because I was going to go eat dinner with my children. I wanted to come back to my house clean. So I was cleaning the kitchen. And as I was cleaning the kitchen, my phone rang and there was the brother Hannah Banu Elbay. Hannah Banu said, Wisdom. He said, do you know what just happened? I said, what happened? He said, Grand Sheik Walt Nail just died. He wished us dead. We returned the energy to sender and he died. There were so many other occasions where Moors thought that they could do me wrong. And when I just said, it's okay, for what goes around comes around, and what you sow, you reap. Because I have not done anything but show you love. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I'll continue to do that. I don't have to get you back. I don't have to do anything to you or talk bad to you when Act 3 of the Divine Constitution and Bylaws say that we're not supposed to harm each other in words, thought, or deed. So why would we do that? Don't we know better? Didn't your mother teach you better than that? This is the thing that Allah sent the Prophet Noble Jew Ali to teach us to be ourselves. And within our DNA, who we are that love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We know how to behave ourselves and to watch the words that come out of our mouth because we are the universe. The universe has 9 planets. We have 9 parts. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 in the front and the back. 8 and 9. So when you are doing right and anything that you're saying, you're talking to the universe in your thoughts and your feelings. And when it goes to the universe is saying, your wish is my command. Every time you're thinking or you're doing something. So you can't even do it in your quiet place where you think nobody sees you because you are only doing it to yourself. And when you're tearing the next sister and the brother down, you're tearing down your own aura. You're tearing down your own self. You're causing havoc in your own life. Because that's not who we are. We're Moors. We're love. We're peace. We're truth. We're freedom. And we are justice. And we need to learn to come together on one accord and be in oneness. Because as our ancestors were, who worked and manifested and did everything on this planet to bring about a beautiful, beautiful land, inventing, creating everything that ever was. That's who we are today. If we but love each other enough to compliment each other in our well-doing, in our successes, in everything that we do in our walk on this day. For as what we're doing today and what we're doing now in our movement is going to grant us the liberty and the blessing to move forward and manifest everything that we desire. It's already done. And all I can think about and all I can see is happiness and happy times and happy feelings. For it is so. And as I have experienced those things that happen, I've also experienced the use of my inner power to listen to the still small voice of Allah. For Allah is us, is within us. And listen to that first voice. That first voice that you hear is Allah. A lot of times people say, something told me to do that, but you didn't listen to that first something. You go to the second something, and that's that lower self. That's that devil in you. For they think that the devil is somebody separate. It's not. The devil is you, your lower self, your lower thinking, your negative thoughts, your negative speech, your negative talks, involving yourself in negative things. That's why I love you sisters. Because when I love you sisters, I love myself. I love me.
Yes, because we are the mirror of each other. I am you and you are me.
Islam,
Yes.
Islam, Islam.
Now, when you were speaking, it came to my mind of the difference between wisdom and knowledge. I always say that men are knowledge. Our men is knowledge because they come with the facts. They state
That's
the
right.
facts. They go get the receipts. They want to give you research and tell you what it is. But
Mhm.
I say that woman is wisdom because we take it further. They are knowledge that brings the facts, but we apply it. You
That's
have
right.
so many professors that teaches and teaches you the Bible and the Holy Quran and the Circle Seven and all these classes, and all they do is teach you with their knowledge, constantly teach you. But
That's
it takes us women, us wisdom, to come in and apply it because we know how to apply it. And most of the time, we love you men, we do, but they think that they are applying it, but they're just constantly giving knowledge. So that's my example
it's
of woman being wisdom, that we apply everything. Whatever you give us, we take and multiply. You give us
Islam.
a child, you give us a seed, we bring it into life. You give us food, we give you a meal. You give us a house, we make it a home. Everything that you give us, we multiply it. That's why we are the wisdom, because we apply everything that's given to us.
That's
Now,
right.
what are your take on that or your example as wisdom, Islam?
Well, as you were saying it, all I can think about is nourishing. We nourish the situation. It's nourishment because all the things that a woman does and gives to the home and the house and the children and the husband, it makes it all better and it's so comfortable and it feels so good because it's not good and it don't feel good without the woman. That's why these demons have tried to stop the original family and cause a man and a man to say that's a normal family and a woman to say that's a natural family. But that's got to stop and it's going away. As you were speaking, that's all I could see. That's all I could remember when I was in my house, nourishing my children and making sure that they had everything that they needed. And when you go in the store, you're careful to pick up everything that you know each of your children need and your husband need, and you're thinking about them before you even doing it for yourself. And it helps you when you're seeing them happy and you're happy to see them happy. You know, the men, the patriarchs, yeah, they come with that knowledge, and I love them. They come with that knowledge, and a lot of them who have come into the truth, they know who we are. They know that they came from the portal of a woman, and so why would you treat another woman less than perfect, less than honorable? And you know, it's the thing that they were teaching in those churches that a woman is supposed to submit to the man. No, you submit one to another. I submit to you, you submit to me. I give you 100% and you give me 100%. It ain't no 50-50, 45. It's not 45-55. It's not 45-55. It's not 60-40. It's not 10-90. It's none of that. I give you 100% of me.
Mm,
And I have not had the husband that I had started out giving me that 100, tapered off. It was 80, 60, 20 down to absolutely zero. And Allah, the great God of the universe, brought me out of it safely. That's the thing. We may go through trials and tribulations, the turmoils and the problems and the issues. But we have to get up, and you feeling great. I'm standing on my 2 feet. I feel great. I'm in my right frame of mind. I can see, touch, taste, smell, hear, feel, and reason. Gratitude, Allah. Gratitude, Allah. Gratitude for everything that you have done and are doing in and through our lives. Gratitude for the past that will never come back to haunt me, that they can never touch me again. No weapon formed against me shall prosper, and every tongue that has risen against me in judgment, I condemn them now. I'm God on this land. I condemn them now. By the same measure that you put out, I give it back to you. These things and more. I have been falsely arrested for something stupid, and it was this little black judge. He was a young little black judge, and they think that they are above the law. She's sitting there, and they had me in the little shackles or whatever, and I had to strengthen myself within myself. This too shall pass, wisdom. Within myself, this too shall pass. You got this. Right while she's talking that foolishness about, oh, she's done this before. Got a fake name, and I had a common law name correction, common law. And she said she's looking at 27 years. So within my mind, I said, no, she's looking at 27,000 years. She's condemned by her own words. And when I left out of that de facto courtroom and went back to the dungeon in a translucent mirror, I looked at myself. And I looked at myself, and I told the vision of the woman that I saw in that mirror to stop. Stop thinking negative, because negative thoughts was trying to overtake me. You're leaving out of here tonight, and you'll never come back. You're leaving out of here tonight. I don't care what she made that bond so high that I didn't have enough Federal Reserve notes for what I knew being a bondsman that you're supposed to take on that bond. So I already knew what I needed to have in order to get out of there. But I wouldn't think on those terms. I just gave gratitude to Allah that I am being released. One young lady came inside that cell, and she said, oh, I get chills. She said, lady, you're not supposed to be here. Then the next one come in, and she said, oh, say, who are you? What they got you in here for? You're not supposed to be here. And then when they started bonding them out, they were leaving out. They said, you next. The other one leave out. She said, you're next. I said, I'm not worried about it. I'm good. An hour or two later, the Lord self started battling with me. The Lord, I said, get thee behind me, Satan. I'm leaving out of here tonight. The next thing I know, they were calling me out. I'm leaving, and the bondsman that got me, he put that bond in for, I know, way less than he should have taken on that bond. Well, a lot of great God of the universe blessed me with an influx of funds where I was able to go back and pay him the full amount, because I know how that is when you don't get paid on a job that you've done. And I was able to pay him. But to say that is to say this: every step that I have come through in my life, I had to go within myself, in my inner self, to bring out the truth and the Savior that's within me. I brought that Savior out to save myself, within me to save myself. And as I was telling you, Sister Jennifer, when they had brought another false charge against me, and I got my prayer beads, and I took a shower, and I sat on the side of the bed, and got my prayer beads, and I sat on the side of the bed. I burnt some sage, and I burnt some Palo Santos, and they were coming after me for a grand theft auto that they delivered the cars to me. I told you about that. They delivered the cars to me, got pictures with them putting the keys in my hand and everything. But because my birth certificates and my authenticated birth certificate and some other documents was in that car, they didn't want me to get them back. So they made up some charges and said that I had a grand theft auto charge, and it was a felony. And what I did was I erased out of my mind and out of my feelings that this crap is going to happen again. It's not going to happen again. So when I took the shower, and I burnt the sage and the Palo Santos, got real happy, and I sat down and took a deep breath, and I got each bead, and with each bead I said, the case is dismissed, 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 all the way around until I got to the end, which is this little flurry thing here. And then I took maybe like a 5-10 minute break, and I did it again. I went around again, and I said, the case is closed, 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 and just happy about it. The case is closed. On the third day of doing that, I'm sitting still, and I heard the still small voice speak to me again. Look at the case. Because I was a bondsman, I have an account where I can go on court and look at the case. I put a case up. It said, case closed. Prosecutor fails to prosecute. And that was the great God Allah showed me what to do. Savior within myself. Savior within myself. That's who we are. We are as our ancestors were. For our ancestors wasn't afraid of them. And fear is how they controlled every last one of us. Fear, false evidence appearing real. Fear went away from me. I'm not afraid of nothing no more. I don't care what come, what may. Not afraid of nothing. Just here recently, they had a little Caucasian, little scraggly Caucasian coming in and trying to serve me some foreclosure papers, and I ran him out of the yard. And when I ran him out of the yard, he was saying while he was leaving, he said, okay, that's what you say. Because I told him ain't nobody taking this. Not under my watch. Nobody's taking this. So when he left, Allah gave me some beautiful Moors that did something very perfect, something very fantastic. And I got busy. I stayed up from the time that Caucasian left until about 6 o'clock that morning, because Moors don't stop and Moors don't give up. I stayed up and I was writing. I forgot to wrap the pen with some type of cloth or something, because my finger got a callus on it and it was hurting. But I went and ran cold water on it and stretched my hands, and I came back and I kept writing. And I wrote up that beautiful chapter 7. And when I took it in at the bankruptcy court, the guy that was taking my paperwork, he said, "Oh, you did a good job." He said,
You wrote up your own chapter 7.
My own chapter 7. He said, "You did a good job." He said, "Your energy. Oh, you have beautiful energy." He was one of those little gay type of Caucasian people, but seemed like they have more sense than the ones who are not that way. But he was just loving on my energy, and he told me I did a beautiful job, and he gave me a letter to take to the fight toward lower court, tell them that they have to cease and desist, that they cannot move forward or they'll be penalized. And he gave me the case number to put on there. Now, after that, there's something else to put the nail in the coffin that I'll be doing once we get off this podcast, and doing that. And after that, because we keep hitting them, and you got to hit them in the head and chop them in the neck and kick them in the butt, and you got to really destroy and cut that snake head off.
Yeah, with the pen.
Yep, with the pen. The power is in the pen. So that is a part of not being afraid, not having no fear. I did get angry. That's the lower self attributes, and I had to take a deep breath and, universe, I apologize. I'm not angry anymore. I'm calm. But you when they come on your land, the land belongs to us, and everything in nature is us. Even our hair look like the trees. Our hair, our skin is the earth. Everything in nature, the chlorophyll and everything is us. And you're coming on our land that Allah gave us to try to take it. And this is my mother's property, where I'm in this house right now, the house that I grew up in from I was 2 years old. You think I'm going to let them take it? Nah, not going to happen on my watch. Everything works in my favor, and all things have worked for my good. And so when I did that, I felt good in my spirit. And then when I go to do the next thing, even better in my spirit. And then when I'm finished with that, it's something else that I'm going to do that really going to make me dance in the yard. So with that said, I wish that I knew this information when they were taking my house that I was in, that I had in other houses, but those things will come back. With Allah, when one door closes, eight more open, eight more doors open for you. And you just stand squarely. And if you can take time every day and sit for at least 30 minutes to an hour and just be quiet and get all the noise away from you and just listen, the universe, the ancestors, going to show you something so phenomenal that you didn't even know that you knew, and you'll know that they gave it to you. But get all the noise out of the way. That's what they did to us Moors, us indigenous people. They put all of the distractions and all of the handheld gadgets and games and the television and the movies and the music and all of that stuff to distract us from getting the knowledge, to getting the truth that we need to know. 30 minutes to an hour, you sit to yourself quietly, and there's some information that is going to be downloaded to you that you know that you didn't just get it by yourself. The ancestors going to show you. Allah is going to download it in your spirit.
Mhm.
And you'll
Islam.
Islam.
And to add to that, everything you just said, thank you so much, because all you did was speak about how you applied your wisdom in your life. Like, this is the perfect example of how woman is wisdom, because things has been going on, trials and tribulations in your life, and you didn't just sit there and just pray, and hope for a miracle and hope for something to come out the sky and a savior to come help you.
Mm-hmm.
What was going on? You tapped into your divine womanism, your feminism, and you applied it. You applied your wisdom and you did the work. They wrote us out with the pen. It's so important that we take that pen and write us back in. But more so with our matriarchs, it's so important for us to step back into our divine spirituality. We have the power to speak life and speak away. We have the power to take and give life with the tongue. That's why they used to close our mouth back in the day, or put razor blades and stuff in our mouth, because they knew how powerful we were and the things that we can do. And one of the biggest things that you said is, it's so important for us to have solitude. You know, our ears is portals, our
Mm-hmm.
eyes is portals, our nose is a portal, our mouth is a portal. We have to
Right.
watch what we say, what comes in and out of it. We have to watch it with our ears. We even have to watch what we see. I had to learn how to change. When I realized how powerful I was with the music. And according to the music that I listen to, I can make some stuff manifest. So I
Mm-hmm.
said, you know what? Okay, Tupac got to come off today. Okay, let me change to something else so I can just change the atmosphere and just change the serenity within me. And it took a lot, and I had to make my spirituality my ritual every single day, because that's what they do on us. These
Mm-hmm.
judges and everybody else, they do rituals on us constantly. They make sure they wear the all black. They make sure they put it on a certain day. They make sure the lighting is a certain way. They go do whatever they got to do before. And all we do is sit and do a prayer and then hope that what we just prayed for would just happen. But it takes a lot more work than that. We
Well, let
have
me
to
let
call
me let
on.
me let me enlighten something with you, sis. The reason
Hmm.
why they try to stop your mouth, because your mouth could put 10,000 a flight. My mouth with yours can send 100,000 a flight. Me or more mouth with my mouth and your mouth can send 200,000 a flight. You're more powerful than 10,000 of them at one time. They do their best to replicate our power. They do their very best but when we just come into the knowledge, and you just come into the knowledge, and because you have not wronged anyone, you're actually operating in the attributes of Allah. You're not doing what all of you see those Moors who talk about love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and then they're doing something different. You're actually doing that. As long as you know within yourself that I haven't wronged anyone, I'm clean. I'm clean. I have not hurt anyone. I haven't harmed anyone with words, thought, or deed. I'm clean. Now, universe, gratitude, gratitude. Those devils can't touch this property. Those devils can't touch over here. I've done it. I get up in the rising before I go to work or anytime, and I stand out there on the ground and I clap my hands 3 times and I say Allah, Elohim, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, universe, and our righteous ancestors. Those devils think they can take this. At my word, I say that they cannot. Because of your divine love and your divine intervention, I say that they cannot. I say that this property will never leave my possession. I say that they will never be able to win because I've already won. And after I say those things, and even more, I say gratitude, Allah, gratitude, Elohim, gratitude, Prophet Noble Drew Ali, gratitude, universe, and gratitude, our righteous ancestors. And I don't see nothing. I don't hear a word, not even a sound. Let me tell y'all something. My daughter, Brittany, she was violated by 5 policy enforcers, Caucasian policy enforcers. She's very tiny. And she looked like she's 12 years old, but she's 33. And she's 98 pounds, 5'1", and 5 Caucasian buff policy enforcers beat my child. Oh, they getting handled, believe me, very, very well. Well, now she's still dealing with some things in her body. And yesterday she called and she was crying, and I'm just concerned, but I had to calm myself down. As a mother, and as a sister, whenever we're going through anything and we're hearing something going on, we got to calm down. That's where your power is. I calmed down real good. And I said, baby, what's wrong? She said, Mommy, I'm hurting. She said, in my back, it's a pain, like a muscle strain. She said, it's so severe, it's coming to my chest. She said, every time I breathe in, she said, it hurts so bad. And she was just crying. I said, Brittany, where's Asar? That's her husband. And Allah blessed her with a husband out this world. I mean, he's so sweet and very positive. He's so positive until she said it be getting on her nerves. I called him and I told him to get some castor oil and get some turpentine. I say, rub them together with your hands. I said, rub your hands. Now, when you're rubbing your hands, that's powerful in itself. But he put the castor oil and the turpentine in his hand. I said, put your hand, after you rub it together, put one hand on her back and put the other hand on her chest and press in a little pressure and rub it in and speak these words. This is my wife. I love her. Whatever you are, you got to flee. Sickness and disease have no power over my wife. Pain, wherever you come from, wherever demon you are, you got to go now. I say go now. When I tell y'all, that baby called me back 10 minutes later and told me she felt better. She said, Mommy, thank you so much. He did what I told him to do, and the pain left her in an instant because my baby, that's my baby. And in an instant, Allah gave me just what to tell him to do for her because she's in Texas. I'm in Florida. I can't get to my baby, but her husband was there. He loves her. I love her. And love is the greatest attribute that we have. That's the greatest attribute that we have. And because of the loving kindness of Allah, I said gratitude because of your loving kindness towards this matter and these matters that I've already won this. And I know I have. So that... And the more it happens, the more confident I am and the more stronger I am to do it for anything that comes up. My grandson was turning 5 and he had a pool party. All his little friends out there, they having, let me tell you, this is just how the enemy try to work. But they're having a pool party and it was a sunny day. We're in Florida. You know, it always 85 and 90 degrees. Sunny and beautiful. And the time I get out there and I'm sitting there, everybody start packing up their stuff because only a dark cloud comes right over the pool party. A dark cloud just comes right over the pool party and starts to drizzle. Everybody start packing up their stuff. I said, no, y'all stay right there. Wait. I clapped my hands 3 times and I called on Allah, Elohim, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the universe, and the righteous ancestors. I say, move, cloud, move. And as I was pushing this way, the cloud was moving the way I was pushing it. I was pushing, move, cloud, move, cloud. Sunshine, we love you, sunshine. We're sun people. You're our friend. Come back out. These babies having a party, and I know you want to see them having a good time. They were having such a good time. I said, sunshine, come back out. I lie to you not. That dark cloud, I said, go over there where they are. Go over there. And I pushed that cloud over there. The sun came back out. They played for another couple of hours until they was tired and went home. It was just so amazing.
Islam.
Amazing. And so my daughter's friend said, who is your mommy? I said, I'm the same as you are. You just don't know it.
No, tell me what kind of powers you get.
Yeah, I said the same as you are. You just don't know it. They took it from you. They took everything from us. And when they were showing us those movies, the Black Panther Power with the brother, what's his name? Power. You know the movie Power.
Oh yeah, 50 cents?
No, not 50
No.
Cent.
Power?
Oh man, come on. I'm looking at his face. He played in Django. Oh God, I can't remember that man's name. Somebody in the audience got to say it. If you can see them texts.
You said he played in Power?
Yeah, he was the main star in Power.
And not
And
oh, the guy who played Ghost?
no. Django.
Oh, awesome.
Movie. Let me see. I'm looking at the man's face. Why his name? What his name is?
Well, you gotta figure it out. Jamie Foxx.
Jamie Foxx.
That's what the brother just said. They just had the
That's right. I know Jamie Foxx's name, and I don't know why it just leave my mind right there.
Thank you, Brother Arnold.
They showed you the movie Power with Jamie Foxx. They showed you the Black Panther movie. When we were little, they were showing us the Super Friends and Wonder Woman and all of that. It's all us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Trump just told them that when that super flare hit the earth, that all our power gonna come back and they're gonna be sorry. This sister, I'm gonna send it to y'all on the text. He was breaking it down too. She was breaking it down about how the lights went out in what country that was. All the lights went out the other day. They hit the grid.
Wherever was it Europe?
Yeah, the lights went out, and then they're gonna hit the grid here, but what they don't know, the
trains and everything stopped.
All of that because we fuel everything. We are electromagnetic beings. We fuel everything. If we was not on the planet, they wouldn't have no lights. They couldn't have nothing moving, nothing. They wouldn't have no life. They couldn't even breathe. The trees wouldn't even be here. The birds wouldn't even be here. They would follow us because we're nature. Look, all of the lights, and when they hit the grid and the lights go off, the old system goes down. The Starlink and the quantum financial system, the Starlink is going to bring the lights back on, and we have free energy. They know that all of the power, and when they show power, and they said power in that movie with the brother, they show power. The power is not just those two. They're showing you melanated people. They're showing you the power that's in us, and how the scientists, the devil, just go and snatch his daughter. That's why they're snatching all of our people to put them in those jails. It's the same thing as that movie, Power. So when they snatched her and put her in that and start doing scientific research on the daughter, that's what they're doing with the people that all of the melanated people that they're locking up for nothing for years and years. They're taking their energy, their power. So when they can capture your mindset and try to bring you down, it's called loosh. The worse they make us feel, the bad feelings that we feel, the crying, the complaining, the worryation, any of those things, those characteristics, those are called loosh that you're feeding the nefarious beings. That's why you got to stay as happy as you can be. You got to stay as pleasant as you can be. You got to stay as loving and kind as you can be, so you can tear down those strongholds and tear down those demonic entities, because they can't stand love and happiness and peace. They can't stand that. They want you screaming and hollering and calling, "What's up, my nigga? Nigga this and nigga that, and your black ass this and your motherfucking ass that," and they want you acting like that, and then they'll call you ghetto and all of that foolishness. Yep, they said Project Power. That's right, Project Power. That's us. That's our power. Sisters, let me tell y'all something. The fact that we're on this podcast right now, we're here, the three of us. Do you know that we had this meeting in the ethers before we came to the planet? We already had the meeting that this would happen already. There's nothing new under the sun. We already planned this before we got here. We had already chose our mother. We chose the mother that we want to go through. And man, did I choose a doggone good mama. We chose our mother. We knew the path that we was going to go through. We knew the life that we were going to have on this planet. And because we was in the ethers, in the heavenly realms, having such a good time, so much that we were bored, pretty much say, and we wanted to have that experience. So we just, I'll take that life. I'll go down and take that life. I'll be her and I'll take that life and I'll go through that. Never knowing while I'm here from a little girl that I was going to go through the Desmond Crib and experience what I experienced. But before I got here, before I was born, and they put that light in your eyes and they shoot you up with all the poison to block your intellect, your knowledge, the knowledge you had from the ethers, before we were violated in that manner. If we were not violated in that manner, we would have came here already knowing what we talked about, the reason why we were here when we got here. But as time developed and as time has gone by, what's in our DNA, just in our DNA, it came back and it comes back and it stays there and we operate in it. And I'm loving it.
Islam. Now just imagine the power of unity if we all know to just come together, how much we can shake up, how many mountains we can move, if we can just move. If all of us come in sync with each other and the power that we have with our mouths, and we learn how to come together and move, what they say, move like the mothership.
That's right.
We learn how to move like the mothership, we would shake everything up. But that's the problem. They poisoning the food. They're controlling what we watch. Mm-hmm. So we're becoming low vibrational every single day. That's why I don't even turn the television on. But I do have a flaw. Forgive me. I stay in so much solitude to myself, sister. I cleanse. My spirituality of cleansing is a ritual every single day. I grab one moon water for manifestation. I grab another moon water to release negative energy for the day and negative people, and I release them peacefully. I ask if anybody that is not coming my way for good or for positivity, please release them in a positive, no harm being done. But I don't need it.
Islam. But with the with all of the poisonous foods that you've had before you came into the knowledge, it still didn't stop you. You're predestined for what you're doing. Everybody who has come into the knowledge, we're just predestined for what we're doing, because I know that you may have family members that just not with it. They still want to be black and they still want to do all of the lower self things that they've always been doing, and they call us crazy, so even though we've eaten and partaken of all of that poisonous, and even certain lotions and things we put on our bodies and clothing that we dress in, all of those things were to bring us down and take away our knowledge. All of that was to hurt or harm us. But I'm going to tell you this is, they can't stop what Allah has for us. They can't stop it. I don't care what they try. They can't stop it. It's inevitable. It has to happen.
Especially when you know who you are, and when you truly swallow that red pill to come out that matrix, and you realize the truth.
Yes.
You can't go back. How can you go back once you know the truth? That's the struggle when you look at your people and you like, man, they such in a rabbit hole. I just wish I can just grab you and just pull you out with me and you can just see what I see. But the beauty that I'm so thankful for, that I thank the Most High. I thank Mother Allah I thank Elohim, Elohim, Yahweh, in the universe for it every single day is the discernment to have to know better and to have the strength and knowing better to applying it. Because some of us know better, but it's easier to go along to get along because we don't want to have to put up that fight. But I'm glad that we were chosen to be able to be in the forefront of this fight because the
Hmm.
truth is not pretty. It's not always pretty. And sometimes you got to go through some things, or you got to go through trials and tribulations. And sometimes I think about I had to ask myself, dang, I'm so freaking tough, but damn, why I got to go through all of this? And then I had to ask myself that who better but me? Who can handle this better than me?
That's right.
Because I
That's
know for a fact that if I look at certain family members that had to go through this walk, they would not last a day.
went last of day because
Wouldn't last a day.
it's you. I was listening to a sister Myra, and she was on one of the brother, trying to think of its name, Rich, on Rich show, and she also was born on January the 8th, and she's an older lady. She's in her 70s. Her name is Sister Myra. She said that those of us who have gone through the worst, we were picked out to go through it because the more that we go through, the huger our blessing is. The huger our blessing is. And even when I was telling you that all of this was pre-planned before we came to this planet, they chose us to be the one that they throw under the bus. My siblings threw me under the bus. And when the sister Myra was talking, she was even talking about Michael Jackson, the way that they did him. A lot of people don't even know that he's not a Jackson 5. He's not part of them. He's Diana Ross's son. That's Diana Ross' son. Remember they were dancing on the Wiz? And remember
Michael Jackson?
yeah, remember when they were dancing on the Wiz? Did you see the resemblance in the mother and the son? That's her son. And he sings like her. She was dancing, he danced, they were dancing together on the Wiz. She was the only one that he said he wanted her to be to look after his children if something happened to him. It was her, Diana Ross. That's his mother. With Whitney Houston, Sissy Houston was she's the what they call it, the handler. She's not Whitney Houston's mother. She's the handler. She is not Whitney Houston's mother at all. Sissy Houston is the one that they had watching her while they took Whitney Houston's daughter into sex trade when they was trading her oldest daughter, little girl. And the song that she was on stage singing, I get so emotional, baby, every time I think of you. It was her daughter. And on that, pull that video up, you'll see her go to the end of the stage, pick up a baby and kiss it. That's the daughter that they let her see her daughter and took her back into that sex trading. The daughter made it out. She made it out and she made it through it. And when that EBS come out, she may be even one of the ones that tell you what happened to her.
It's
So,
wild.
and Whitney Houston is still alive. Tupac is still alive. Elvis Presley is still alive. A lot of them are still alive because they were telling all of the atrocities and all of the wicked shit that they was doing in Hollywood. So whatever they were doing in Hollywood, they started turning evidence against them, and they had to fake their deaths in order to survive, and the military helped them.
Yes.
So we're about to see something phenomenal, and what a beautiful life that we're living in today. Boy, we're living in some beautiful times right now. When they cut the grid and everybody shouldn't alarm themselves, that's when they're gonna finish getting all the minions, those rest of those judges and lawyers and all of those wicked asses. They're gonna get them. And then the lights are gonna be off, and they said they have enough food or whatever, but I had stocked up years ago when I didn't know any better. I was thinking that it was gonna happen years ago, and I'm stocking up and stocking up. I'm like, man, whatever I got, I can just I'll make it. But they said the military will be out handing out, food and supplies for everybody, because Allah, the great God of the universe, is mother. Mother nourishes, mother takes care. So we'll be careful. We won't miss nothing, not even a beat, because it's turning around. back in the hands of the original inhabitants, which is us. And I know that it's going to be more better than we can ever imagine. It's happening
Absolutely.
probably by the end of about mid-May or the end of May. We're going to be able to see it and live a peaceful life. So everybody, we've been holding on for this long, and it's right here at our hands. So, and we're wealthy as can be, wealthy and happy and free. And I'm really happy. It's long.
It's long, Sister Wisdom. You really brought it today, and I just want to apologize to everyone. Been my camera, my phone been just in and out. I haven't been able to say much, but that's good because I needed to listen today. And I listen, and the wisdom that come from you. That's your name. The universe knew when you chose that name, wisdom. Because every time, like the empress said, when she opened the shore, every time you speak, that's wisdom is coming out, and you just so phenomenal, sister. Ever since the day I seen you on Dr. G show, as Wisdom GS, and I reached out to you. You just been a loving, giving person ever since I know you. Just giving, you're so giving and so always trying to help someone. So, sister, I just want to give you your flowers at this moment because ever since I know you, you just been a helpful person in my life, and ever since I know you, just always talk. Every time I talk to you, you helping somebody. You always helping somebody. Not a time I ever talked to you that you wasn't helping somebody. So I want to thank you, and I know the universe thank you, and I know all the people that know you and know your heart, they thank you as well.
Gratitude,
Mm.
sister. Gratitude. And it was for me to meet you because even though we have not met face to face personally, it's like I've known you. I mean, that's the way that Allah let us know that we're supposed to be together and jointly in a movement because the way it feels, the way it is, the way I see you, it's like I've known you my whole life. And you've been that angel as well from I met you and doing the work and standing strong and going through all of the difficult times that you had to endure and still looking good and standing firm. You too. And the sister Jennifer, it's just been a short time, but sister, I feel the same way about you. I just, when we look at our family members and we have siblings through our parents, through our mother and father, they're not really the sisters and brothers that Allah put in our life for us to be sisters and brothers. You are the real sisters and brothers. Right now, what I'm dealing with is not anything bad. I'm doing it. I'm doing it piece by piece. The way to eat an elephant is one piece at a time. And so I have a huge yard in this house, and it was in a very terrible condition. We just did a little bit at a time, and a little bit at a time. We're seeing everything working out and growing, and not the sentimental value this house is to me, and they left it abandoned. The family members that I haven't offered not one dime or not a piece of help whatsoever to call to see how I'm doing. Nothing at all. So they're not where I am, and I'm glad I'm not where they are. I'm not mad at them at all. I'm not. But when that wealth comes, and I'm not sharing where it comes from or what I got or how much I have, they're going to want to have a piece of it. They're going to want to have a piece of what we're inheriting because we're taking back what those colonizers and them devils have taken from us, and we're taking it back. But they choose to go to the Sunday mass and the Sunday school and the church services and the Bible studies and learning about a savior outside of themselves, and you can't tell them nothing. They choose to keep eating the pork and going to those restaurants and eating all of the slop and and just not cleaning their bodies and taking time to ground their feet to the earth or do anything spiritual at all. But they call themselves so spiritual in those churches because they say in the blood of Jesus. They don't know that that's cannibalism. The blood of Jesus, taking that communion is and eating the body, that's cannibalism. They don't
Now
know.
you can't tell them that because according to us who burn the sage and the crystals, which we are made of crystals,
That's right.
all the things that we're doing is cannibalism and
Mm-hmm.
witchcraft and all.
Yeah.
We are so out of touch with our natural selves that it's terrible.
Yeah, like the Aboloses. The Aboloses are some of our ancestors who had the special ability to think things into manifestation. The Aboloses, I'll email you a copy of it. The Aboloses was asked to come to a hospital with a bunch of sick children. They stood outside of that hospital and they held hands and they stood there, and all of them thought the same thing. They said, "We're gonna think on this." And they were just thinking and seeing the children coming out running healthy and strong, and whatever problem that they were having or whatever sickness that they had, that it was gone. And when they got their thoughts together and they started thinking and manifesting that, the children all came out of that hospital running and jumping just like they thought it was. Well, they had to suffer the unfortunate circumstance of the colonizers coming against them and calling them witches. And when our people always manifested something, they would what they call burn the witches at the stake. Witch only means wise woman, because you have the wisdom to make things manifest. And so that's what they were doing to our people when they were making things manifest, and to put fear in them so that they wouldn't practice what we've always known to keep ourselves protected. And that's what they did.
Mm, Islam. Now let me ask you this, Empress. Hold on. I didn't know that Empress Mia Moore want to say something, Islam.
I want to say something real quick while I have a chance, and I'm just getting ready. I have to log off, you guys. I'm out of town right now, but I didn't want to disappoint you guys. I said I was going to be here, so I wanted to make sure that I do keep my word, and I did. So I'm going to log off right now. And Sister Wisdom, I want to thank you for coming on, sharing your wisdom, sharing your stories, and don't be so hard on your family members. Give them time, because remember, we were sleep before too. So give them time to learn and catch on, because the world is revealing itself to everyone right now. And you got to have blindfolds on if you don't see it. So with that, I yield. Peace, love, and light to you all. And see you guys soon.
Islam.
Islam.
Peace, love, and light, sis. Peace,
Islam.
love, and
Peace,
light.
love.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
she,
But
she,
she's still watching. She's just not
right.
on. But Islam, I appreciate that too.
Yeah.
And also on top of what she said. Now once victory is won, which is it is already won, they
Mhm.
go come knocking on the door. Say, hey, can we come in?
Oh, look, I won't refuse them. I never have. I mean, because it's symbolic to that story of Joseph. You remember when his brothers threw him in the pit? Then he was taken away by those other kings in this, and he had that ability to interpret dreams and stuff. And he was lied on by some woman that was in there, said that she raped him, and anyway, it turned in his favor, and he was able to get that ring from the king, and he was put in the control and the manager or the foreman or whatever over all of the food supply. And so when the famine happened in the land, it was his own brothers and father that came up. They didn't even know who he was. I guess it had been so many years or whatever, and he had changed, or maybe a beard or something, and maybe a hat that made him look totally different after they threw him in the pit and thought he was dead. And he toyed with them. It was just kind of hilarious to him, because at all times, we erase. And my children always said it about me, Mama, you forgive so quickly. I mean, because I haven't done anything to them. They only did it to themselves. They haven't done
Mhm.
anything to me. They only did it to themselves. Say, I forgive so quickly. But I just can imagine when that happens, they can come. We're going to have so much that how could you dare not share it? It's so much coming. I
Yeah.
mean, just an overwhelming amount of wealth and prosperity headed our way real soon, real quick. So, all I want
Islam.
everybody to know is that just, do what you know to do. If you study in Moorish science, you study in Moorish science, and what we learn in Moorish science is that we are who Allah is. This, hold on, sister. Something is happening. Islam.
Islam.
Yeah, it looked like my battery was dying, but it's not. I don't know
Oh,
what this
okay.
is. Turn it back up. Did the light look dim to you? Did it go dim?
I'm not sure. You know what? I think it did go a little down. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
But
it's
we're almost actually wrapping it up too. But what I will say, well, what you had just said is, I always say, forgive them for they not know what they do.
right.
Mhm. Now, before we closed out, I did wanted to ask you about what's going on as far as funds wise, because I know I've been doing my humanitarian projects. I've been getting myself together for the quantum physics and the currency. Can you give us some enlightenment on that?
Yeah, the for on the forex market and on the markets, all the banks are ready. They're getting the wealth managers ready. And I'll let you know this: we're not supposed to go in any bank or any financial institution and let any wealth managers handle our accounts. Your account is going to be set up by your DNA. You're going to just be directed where to go. When you go in, it's all yours. Your DNA is going to control your account so that nobody will ever be able to steal it. It has to be the quantum financial system it's set up under. We're very close because the Iraqi dinars has hit the forex market. The amount is floating. We don't want to go in now to do an exchange, although a lot of people are so excited they're going in and they're currently now exchanging. But we know not to move yet. And Allah's gonna let you know when to move. We're not gonna move until we know that the amount goes up very high, and it's going to shoot up very high for the Iraqi dinars and other currencies that you have. If you have the Zimbabwe, the Zim notes, and the Zim notes of
Mm-hmm.
man, them Zim
And
notes
the
are
what? And the Vietnam, the
in Vietnam,
Zimbabwe, Iraqi, and
and the
Vietnam.
rupee, the Indonesia rupee, but no, every country that there is that they put in poverty, their currency is going to shoot up high. The United States corporation and their de facto agents and their nefarious beings went from country to country with that Christian crusade, chopping up people, making them say in the name of Jesus and following the Christianity. And Jesus himself wasn't even a Christian, so they did a job on did a job on our people and their mindset. So, but the way that they have controlled the minds of the people who even had the currency that we now have, a lot of them gave up and got rid of it, got rid of their currency. I've had mine since about 2009. Allah had this attorney come in my office. He turned around in the middle of the street. He came back. He said, God told me to tell you to go to the Fifth Third Bank and buy some Iraqi dinars. Man, I got up. I went to the Fifth Third Bank and I got 450,000 Iraqi dinars.
Wait, the bank had the Iraqi dinar?
The Fifth Third Bank sold them to me. I still have the receipt for the 450, but when they put me in jail and I got home, I only had half of them. So I don't know where the other ones are, but the good thing about it is I have the receipt. I'll get credit for the 450,000.
Oh,
Since
that's
and
wow.
since that time, I've gained a lot more. I've gained a lot more. But as much as I can tell you about when it's going to happen, I know it's going to be before the end of May. It's definitely going to be before the end of May because Trump keep talking about Christmas time coming up, the best Christmas we ever had. That's going to be the best Christmas that we ever had. The real gift, the true gift of wealth transfer that the world has never seen before. Even now, the people that's on Social Security is getting ready. They send out checks to the people that's on Social Security, get a huge increase in their Social Security checks. They're getting that. The people that have like 401ks and some type of retirement, and they withheld it from them, they're releasing those checks. The Internal Revenue Service, which is the external revenue service right now, they are releasing those refunds. They're coming back to us. So we just got to stay in our positive, highest consciousness and our highest self and give gratitude. Gratitude like it's already in your hand because it is. So
Right.
the Iraqi dinars and it's on the Forex and it's on that I'm trying to, I think it's Bytram or something like that. But I'm on a group called Infinite Gnosis. And they list a whole lot of information on the Infinite Gnosis group. So, but if you're on Telegram, I'll find you and I'll forward that information over to you, because they're showing they had to get lower denominations, because if you got a $25,000 Iraqi dinar or $1 trillion Zim note, they had to get lower amounts. They had to get lower notes. They had to get lower, like in the ones, fives, tens, like that, so that you can get the proper change. And then with the XRP is finna go up, like 100,000 per one. Oh
See,
my,
I gotta add more to my XRP.
me too.
Really?
Yeah, me too. Cause my XRP had went up and then it went down. I'm like, I don't even care. I'm gonna add some more to it as well. And I had to convince my children. I said, y'all, if y'all get $50 worth of XRP, 100,000 per one. Do you know how much that is at 50 or just $50 worth? So I told him, I said, just get some XRP and take it off of Uphold, and take it off those wallets, and get a ledger wallet and put it on the ledger wallet, because you don't want them to try to steal it. You don't want to go to these bankers and let them trick you to tell you telling them what you have either, because you're the bank. We've always been the bank. We are the creditors. We the head and not the tail. A borrower is a slave to the lender. We've always been the bank. When we show up, the money shows up everywhere we go. They know this. So all of a sudden, you start getting all of these companies trying to loan you money. Oh, you're guaranteed. You're guaranteed. I just delete. I ain't giving you shit. I'm the creditor. You know what I'm saying? I'm the bank. So because we are the bank and we are worth our weight in gold, you know, they're selling melanin on the market at $428 per gram, or probably even more right now, because that was about a year ago that I saw that they were selling melanin. So they killing our people and tricking them to take all those shots and poison and that medication. And that medication bottle had that RX on it. And I read the pseudepigrapha book. That pseudepigrapha book shows you that RX is RHYX. That's Rix. It's a demon. They got a patent on every sickness and disease, and every illness there is a demon that they put in your body. They make us sick. We don't get sick.
Islam. They got a patent on everything.
Everything. Yeah, they got a patent on cancer, all of that stuff. And I was just telling a lady the other day, and older people, you cannot get them to get off of that pork and to get on herbs and things that'll help them out. But there was this brother that found out that they say he had stage 4 cancer. They spoken word over your body, and if you accept it, it will manifest. So if they speak something over you and tell you, oh, you got only these many days, you just turn that back on them. No, you won't have but like 2 days left. You got to turn that back over to them, because they speaking that's a curse that they putting on you. They put a curse when that doctor told me about 18 years ago that I had diabetes. I said, die ain't going to beat me. And I left, never went back. I started eating right and exercising, cleaning my body. And I'm 58 years old, feeling so good.
Oh my gosh, it's wow. And I want to look just like you get that age. Because one thing that you just gave me enlightenment on, that and a lot of stuff I know better. A lot of stuff I know better. But like you said, that diet ain't go beat you. That's something that I should have been telling myself. I truly appreciate it.
And that high blood pressure crap that they tell people, you got high blood pressure. We're melanated people. We're carbonated people. We could just drink some juice or something, some fruit juice, and it'll take our blood pressure up or down. Oh, forgive me. It's something that we could be eating. Anything that we eat will take our blood pressure up and down, but sooner or later, a couple of hours later, it'll just go down and it'll go back normal, because it regulates itself. Melanin regulates itself. Even our organs are melanated. It regulates itself. Your body regulates itself. So they tell you have high blood pressure, just let me go home and rest. It'll be okay. Don't take no medication. I have so many people that I know that's on high blood pressure medicine, and they feeling like old people and they're young. They're feeling they're feeling worn down and tired, and they go to sleep and they wake up tired because of that.
That was one of them. I'm talking about the medication does more harm than helping you. They say you have to take it, because if you don't, you're gonna die. But when you take it, it gives you a headache, you dizzy, nausea, fatigue,
That's
dry
right.
mouth, you tired. So I'm a corpse. I'm
Yeah.
taking this medicine every single day, and I'm just becoming a corpse because I
Murder,
can't even enjoy my
murdercation.
day.
Sis. Call it what it is. It's
Murder.
murdercation. That's why Trump went after the WHO, the World Health Organization. That's
That
why he
was the
went after
first
all those
one
things.
too. You see
Yeah,
that?
yeah. I mean, and then you still have people. I got to go to the. I have a good friend. She's a Christian, but because she's just such a good sister, she's still my sister. She said, "Well, sister, I just got to go make me an appointment." I said, "Well, sister, what's going on?" "Oh, nothing. I just got to go get a checkup." I said, "No, you don't." I said, "If you feeling good and you okay, why you got to go get a checkup?" It's in the mind. They programmed the mind to say, "Oh, I got to go to the doctor. I need a
They got our
checkup."
mental. They got our mental so bad because it goes back to we put curses on ourselves. And I had
That's
to
right.
tell my mom that. Like my
Mm-hmm.
mom, like, woo, I'm dizzy. I already know that's that high blood pressure. No, it's not.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not. Don't you say that's what it
That
is. We are
medication.
not about to claim that murdercation. Now you about to have me walking around talking about murdercation.
You know, they killed my mother with that Eliquis, and on the commercial they was talking about it'll bleed you out, it'll do this, and that's just how my mother transcended. She had like an aneurysm, her whole skull just bleeded out. And so that Eliquis that was doing it, that devilish shit they said is a blood thinner, and had her talking about she got a touch of diabetes. I said, Mama, no, you don't. A touch of diabetes is like being a little bit pregnant.
Mhm. That's like my mom. My mom always doctored on herself. Unless it was really extreme, she'll go see what they say and then come home and work on herself.
Mm-hmm.
But like her sisters and her brothers, you better go to the doctor, you better go to the hospital. So my mama finally went on and did her little physical. All her sisters and brothers got all these elements and stuff going on with them. But when my mom goes to the doctor, whatever, everything is perfect. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is
Nothing
going
is wrong.
on. But she's the only one that's not screaming all of that stuff though, like everybody else. But
Very
when
good.
she but she did start when she got it from them. That's why our environment is so freaking important because she constantly hear them saying, "Ooh, I got a headache. I know it's my blood pressure because I went to the doctor and my doctor said this." So now I called my mom a few times saying, "Ooh, I got a headache." It must be no, it's not. No, it's not.
It's what you're
We're
putting
not
in
even
your
gonna claim
body.
that.
Every sickness
Yeah.
and disease starts in the colon. And they put it in, and then when they giving people those colonoscopy, they just as body as the day is long, sticking shit in your rectum. You don't need that. Like in my life, when I was in my early 30s, was the only time that I had a mammogram. And when I took that mammogram and they squeezed my breast, ooh, I said I never go again. I had it one time. I never went back again. It will squeeze your breast, and they want to cause the cancer to stir up in your breast to cause breast cancer. So that's what happened to a lot of ladies, thinking that they have to go get a mammogram, and they put radiation in your breast. And so the pneumonia shots and the flu shots and all of that, never take it in my life. Never took it in my life. And the forcing of these injections and the forcings of these vaccines have caused an array of sickness and disease. And when I didn't know any better and took my children to the pediatrician to get those shots and get the shot records, my daughter had asthma out of this world. Back then, I wasn't no more. I really didn't know my power. I was praying in the name of Jesus because I was in the church. But I didn't say in the name of Jesus. I said, God, if somebody got to have it, because my baby couldn't breathe. And she was coughing and she said, Mommy, it hurts. And I couldn't take it no more because I had her on the albuterol, didn't know it was medication. I had the breathing machine on. I took all the stuffed animals out the room. I made it, sure I cleaned it. I rubbed it down with Vicks. My baby still couldn't breathe, taking that albuterol and taking all of that poison they was giving her. And I just screamed out. I say, Father, if somebody got to have it, give it to me. I cough it up. I said that with every feeling in my being. Do you know my baby? About 20 minutes later, she quieted down. No more coughing. She was about 8 years old. She quieted down. No more coughing. I went to touch her, and she was like, mm, like that. And all of a sudden, I felt cold in my chest. Cold was in my chest, and I started coughing, 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 coughing. I went to the bathroom. I was coughing. I stuck my finger in my throat. I wish then I could have took a picture and kept it to be hair proof. And I threw up a sink full of my baby's phlegm. A whole sink full. It was full of phlegm. I knew it was a transfer. I wasn't sick. She calmed down after I cried out. It transferred to me, and I coughed it up.
Yes, wow.
Oh my God, I was so happy. I was so
Actually,
happy.
that's how I started my walk in my spirituality. It was 2020, and I was a surgical technician, and that's when the pandemic and stuff happened. And I never forget this. Before I left from work, they said over the PA about this pandemic. Go home, stock up on essentials and all those things. And so I went home and I got in the shower. And I'll never forget when I got in the shower, my chest just started hurting really, really bad. And so I jumped up out of the shower and I started putting on my clothes. Then I went to go sit down on the couch and it was getting worse and worse to the point that all I can do is just lay down. So I kept on saying I can't breathe. I texted my boss, which was a surgeon. I said, Dr. Stone, I cannot breathe. He was like, "You okay? Just it's in your mind." I was like, "No." I said, I'm gasping. I can't." And after that, my daughter ended up calling the ambulance because they knew like they can tell that it was getting worse and worse. And so there was no ambulances around. The fire trucks had to come and get me. And when they got me, my oxygen was so low. And so they got me to the hospital. And as I was in there, and they don't know what's going on. They're like, this is new. We're trying to figure this out. Just bear with us. Then they did an x-ray. They came back. They said both of your lungs is full. It's completely full. They was like, we're trying to figure it out. We're waiting for medicine to come over here to be flown to us. And I was like, wow. And I remember laying in that bed, and I was raised Church of God in Christ Pentecostal. So I'm sitting in that bed and I'm praying to God. I'm praying to every God, Jesus, Mohammed, and everything. I'm like, what wrong can I go? They saying I'm in here dying and there's nothing they can do about it because this is something new that they never experienced. So I grabbed my phone because one of the nurses was like, well, you want some music? Or put some music on so you can like relax. I remember grabbing my phone. I remember going to YouTube. And I remember the YouTube talking about like meditation and chakras. And I was going past it because I was raised, if you touch that stuff, it's the devil, you're going to hell. You better not do yoga. You better not do medication, chakra, crystals, sage. All of that stuff is nothing but the devil. So I wouldn't touch it. So I kept on scrolling through YouTube. The next thing, there's a person with their legs crossed and their whole spine is lit up with different colors. And it was like meditation to help relax, to give out evil spirits and all these other things. I went again, and now like the algorithm and my divine ancestors were just putting it on the phone like this is where your savior is at right here, like hit on it. So another one came and it said cleanse your chakras, meditation for like 30 minutes. And I hit it. I said, I done did all I can do. I done called on God, Jesus, Moses, Paul, and I hit on it. And when I hit on it, it said lay back. And I laid back. It was like close your eyes. I closed my eyes. And I never knew that I was not breathing the right way. It told me to take a deep breath. But when I take a deep breath, my stomach is going to push out like a Buddha and like a baby. And when I exhale, my stomach is going to go back in. I have been inhaling, holding my stomach in, and exhaling my whole life. But listening to that, it told me what to do to breathe the right way. And I started doing that. And like in a matter of maybe like 60 seconds, let's just say 2 minutes, just to give it more time, I started throwing up nothing but fluids. I'm talking about everywhere, to the point that the nurses grabbed me and put me in the shower so I can finish giving it up. And I was just giving up all this clear fluid in the shower, that when I finished giving up all that clear fluid, I could stand up, leave, and walk up out of there and go home. Just like that. And I was like, wow, just doing the power of breathing just saved my life. Breath work is everything. Breath work is spirituality. Breath work is the spirit. And so I say that to say it's so important for us to make sure we know how to breathe right and the power of our breath. And we know how to use it, because it was something that truly saved my life. And it opened me up to where I'm at now today with my spiritual cleansing. Islam.
Islam, sis, that's powerful. Um, the thing that you did and you tapped into was the time for it, so that you can come into the knowledge that you have right now, and that's remarkable. That's beautiful, and that set you free. Just like somebody said, the truth will set you free. That did set you free from that sickness and disease and being in that hospital. Something that they did when you got home that made you sick. Because we don't get sick, they make us sick. Can't hear you.
Oh,
I can't.
I sound right. Yes,
Yeah.
Islam. But
Yeah.
again, I want to thank you for coming on. But I want you to, you know how you close us out when we're in our personal meetings. You always give us that good vibration. But before you close us out, is there any final words that you want to tell the people? Any messages? Anything about Noble Drew Ali? Just anything that you want the people to wholeheartedly, sincerely want to know.
Yeah, I want to just let everybody know that we have to agree to disagree, because in order to make it to be one and one force, because if we're one force, we beat them already. If we come together in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. I met a young man the other day and I was talking to him. He said, I'm a nigger. I'm a Negro. He said, I'm a Negro. And I started to talk to him about a Negro and a nigger and who he is. And he's a descendant of the ancient Moabites and blah, blah, blah. And he said, well, I'm a Hebrew. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. I'm not a Moor. I said, well, you can be that. I said, you could be that as long as we can be together in one. Because we are still all the original inhabitants of the land. I just want everybody to know that if you meet any melanated person, if they're not bad, like if they're not operating in, in a negative, bad spirit, and because you got to stay away from the negative energy, you got to stay away from the negative the spirits, but you accept them where they are. We have, like with our family members, we accept them where they are as long as we can move together in oneness. And if they know or have a little bit of the knowledge that we cannot really make it unless we be together. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali had came to bring us everything that we needed. And when I was in a meeting in Georgia one time, they was speaking the untruth, saying that the prophet didn't get a chance to finish everything. I said, that's not true. The Prophet Noble Drew Ali finished everything that he had to complete. He's a manifested word of Allah. That's who the Prophet Noble Drew Ali is. And the Prophet Noble Drew Ali's spirit lives in us. We're continuing the work. So the Prophet Noble Drew Ali had finished it when he was there. He put his spirit in us to complete and carry it on, not to complete, but to carry it on. Because this is a never ending movement until we reach that. And we're always learning. We're always having to help each other up and lift each other up and enlighten each other with our knowledge and our uh with the knowledge that we have, and even physically or something that we need to help somebody else with, we have to just do that for each other and be that sister, be that brother that Allah want us to be, so that we can make it in this movement and in this life. Anytime that any of you are in Florida, I'm in Jacksonville, Florida, and you look up Wisdom Shit L and you can't be on the side of the road stuck somewhere, I'm going to come and help you. If you're hungry, I'm going to feed you. If you're sick, I got something to cleanse your body so you can shit all of that stuff out so you can feel better. If there's anything that's going on with you and I'm your sister, I'm just letting you all know that I'm here. Likewise, that's how we should be for one another. Islam, Alhamdulillah, Islam.
Yes, Islam, I appreciate that. And to add to it before we close out is, as long as it's in a positive way, which how we should be, we have to get back in sync with really coming together and praying together. The power of the family is praying together. Even husbands and wives. It's so important for the husband to pray for the wife and the wife to pray for the husband. It makes the household so powerful and it makes things move wonders. But that what I would end with that. Now, did you want to go ahead and give us a prayer out?
Islam. Allah, the great God of the universe, the mother of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. As we come today, the day that you have made, and we are rejoicing and glad in this day, we give gratitude for the divine protection over all the Moors listening and the ones who are not here. We give divine protection and intervention over all the Moors across the globe who are operating in the attributes of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. We give gratitude for their children, each and every one individually and collectively in their respective places, that everything works in their favor and all things has already worked for their good. We give gratitude to Allah, the Elohim, the Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the universe, and our righteous ancestors for paving the way for us. For as we rise up every day, that we're moving towards greatness. We're moving towards a time that we've never seen before, a time of health and wealth and prosperity to all of us, happiness and fun and helping each other and meeting each other and seeing each other flourish like never before. That everything works. We can see and touch, taste, smell, hear, feel, and reason. We can run and jump, hop and skip. We're living and we're not dying. We are creating and we're not sitting dormant. That this day and every day that we live and every day that we see greatness, for we are great. We give gratitude for your loving kindness towards these and all other matters in our life. And I say Ameen and Islamism.
Ameen, Ashe, and Islamism. Again, thank you everyone for joining. I am Jennifer Lynn Steele Ill, the CEO and founder of Mayat Divine Ministry and Podcast. Thank you again, Empress Wisdom Shield Ill. I appreciate you for coming on tonight. The inner power as we are, as our ancestors are. Peace and love, everyone.
Peace and love. Islam.
As long as she better. Hey, yo, Q. Give them some of the vibes from the way that they walk, from the sound of their voice. Every time they talk, I'm hooked and I can't lie. If you ain't had one, you need to try. That melanated woman, yeah, that's my type of woman. Brown skin, light skin, red bone, yeah, I love my chocolate. Black of the berry, the sweet of the juice. That's my type of fruit. Give a here, you don't know what to do. I need a smile that can light up the room. Them queens be a blessing. You must not know what you missing, or be addicted to stressing. Cause man, them my type of women. I like them black of the berries because it's sweet as the juice. I love my woman the same way that I like my food. I like them thick as cornbread. I'd walk a mile behind them legs as long as she melanated. You heard what I said. That's my type of woman. That's my type of woman.
That's my type of woman.
Melanated woman.
They say black good or berry, sweet of the juice. Melanated woman, said I can't get enough of you. I like soft brown skin like caramel. Nice skin nigga, she fine as hell. I love a melanated woman. Peanut butter Reese cup, mess with her and I kick your butt. She my melanated woman.
I like them black of the berries because it's sweet as the juice. I love my woman the same way that I like my food. I like them thick as bone the juice. I love my woman the same way that I like